Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our postgraduate virtual talk series. My name is Patrick Cosgrove, and in our session this evening, I'll be joined by Rachel Godfrey and Dr. TJ Ó Ceallaigh, and we'll be focusing on the various postgraduate programs available in the Faculty of Arts and the Faculty of Education here at Mary Immaculate College. So please remember that this session will be recorded, so if there's anything you want to look back on, it will be available on the MIC website in the coming days under postgraduate virtual events. Also, if you do have any questions for our speakers, please use the Q&A facility and I'll put it to them at the end of their presentations. So we'll start off first with the Faculty of Education, and I'll now pass you over, or the Faculty of Arts, I beg your pardon, and I'll now pass you over to Rachel Godfrey.
Good evening. You're very welcome to our live session today about postgraduate opportunities in the Faculty of Arts at Mary Immaculate College. As Pat said, my name is Rachel Godfrey and I'm the Senior Faculty Administrator in the Faculty of Arts. So I'm going to take you through a very brief overview of the programs that we offer in the faculty, both thought and research, and at the end of tonight's session, when TJ has finished speaking, we will have a Q&A session for about 20 minutes, and that is your opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about postgraduate study at Mary Immaculate College. So I'm going to ask James now to put up the slides. I have a brief presentation for you this evening. And I hope you can see there, I've just tried to outline why you would choose Mary Immaculate College as the place to come to do your postgraduate study. So Mary I has a very strong reputation for high quality education. We offer a wide ranging set of programs in the Faculty of Arts. There is something really to suit everyone. The programs are intellectually rigorous and deeply engaging. As I said, Mary Immaculate College prides itself on the quality of its teaching, and we believe we offer a first-class education. So our graduates are highly skilled and as such are highly sought after. If we could move to the next slide, James. Yeah, that's great. So you may or may not be familiar with MIC already, but I can tell you that MIC has a very strong academic reputation in Ireland and further afield. Our faculty here are highly competent, they're very well published and they're very well known in their own research fields, and that in turn attracts many postgraduate students to the Faculty of Arts. For a relatively small institution, we have a very successful rate of PhD completion in the faculty, and we have graduated well over 100 PhD students. If you could move to the next slide, please, James. So we offer a range of different postgraduate opportunities in the faculty, both thought and research. I'm going to go through each of the thought programs in brief, and I'll also speak to you about how you might apply to do a research postgraduate program also. So we have 13 disciplines on offer in the faculty, and I'll go through in just a moment what those disciplines are. So James, if you could go to the next slide, please. So our thought programs that we offer are fairly diverse, as you can see from the list there on the left-hand side. They range from the Graduate Certificate in Christian Leadership and Education to an MA Ceallaigh, MA in Local History and MA in Applied Linguistics, to name just a few. We also offer 2 structured PhD programs, one in Applied Linguistics and one in Contemporary Irish Studies. And we also offer MA and PhD in the faculty by research. So on the next slide, please, James, you will see the list of the disciplines that are in the faculty. So we have 13 disciplines, as I said. They are listed there on the screen. You'll see they are quite diverse. Some will be more familiar, such as English and geography and history and such like that. They're especially of interest to people who are in the field of education or who are thinking about progressing in a career in the education field. But we also have programs on offer and subjects such as psychology, media and communication studies, drama and theatre studies, which would not be offered in every institution. So those are quite interesting. On the next slide, please, James. Okay, so on the next slide, I'm going to start with our first Taught Postgraduate Programme, and that is the Graduate Certificate in Christian Leadership in Education. So this programme it's a relatively new programme. This is our second year offering it, and it looks to add to the students' qualifications that they may have already achieved in the areas of leadership and management. So it's really aimed at people who would be working in the field of education in schools. So it will introduce students to key principles that underpin the ethos of a faith-based education. It uses a variety of assessment methods. So you may have to complete essays. You might have to compile, engage in projects or literature reviews. So the assessment mode for this programme is very varied. The programme is run part-time over 5 Saturdays. So that's how the programme is run. We usually run it at least twice in an academic year. But all of that will be available on the website. And I should say at the very start as well that all of the details on these programmes are available on the college's website, which is www.mic.ul.ie. I'll show you later, a little bit later in my slides, how to access that information. But if you have more in-depth questions about the content of any program or the modules that you might be studying, or you just like to talk to somebody who's involved in the teaching of that program, you can of course make contact with them by using the contact information on the website. I've also included at the bottom of each slide, and you'll see here further information. Where would you go for further information? So in this case, the course leader for the Graduate Certificate in Christian Leadership is Dr. Eugene Duffy, and you'll see that I have his email address at the bottom of the slide. And that is the case on each of the slides that I'm going to show you. So if there is a particular program that pops up that you're interested in, you might want to make a note of that email address at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next slide, please, James. And the next program that I'm going to talk to you is linked to the Graduate Certificate in Education in Christian Leadership. If we could just go back a slide, sorry, James. It's the MA, so it's the Masters in Christian Leadership and Education. So it is a slightly longer, more in-depth programme. It's run part-time over 2 academic years in part-time mode. You also have the option of exiting with a graduate diploma. So if you decide not to go on and complete the dissertation part of this Masters, you would exit with a graduate diploma. Again, it is in the field of Christian leadership and education. It is aimed at people who are working in an educational setting, a school setting mostly, in an area of responsibility, or who is looking to get into an area of responsibility, who's looking to progress within their career. And again, the assessment for this programme is very varied, and it will range from a wide variety of written assessments. It could be group projects or in-class exercises. It varies. Modules can vary from a look at the ethos of schools, group dynamics. It looks at various psychologies of leadership. So it is quite a varied programme, and full details again are available on the college website. One thing to note with this particular programme is that there are 5 full scholarships available, which are sponsored by the Presentation Sisters, and they are being offered for the next intake of this programme, and the scholarships are worth €8,000 each. So I'm sure you'll agree it's quite an attractive scholarship for anyone who's thinking of taking this programme. If we could move to the next slide, please, James. Okay, so our next Taught programme that I'm going to mention is the MA Sa Gaeilge, and the MA Sa Gaeilge is a 1-year full-time, so Lán Aimsire Taught programme offered by Rinne Gaeilge here. And if you have you would need a degree in Irish, so you need an undergraduate degree already, a primary qualification in Irish, and at a minimum, the classification of that degree would have to be 2-2. So that would be the entry requirement for the MA Sa Gaeilge. This degree program would look at a range of different modules. Students take 6 taught modules from the list that I have included there on the screen, and then would finish off the program by completing a main thesis, a minor dissertation of approximately 15,000 words. The program is taught by lecturers from Clontarf, so here at MIC, and also the University of Limerick. The assessment methods for the modules on this program range from essays, so written essays, to in-class exams, to, of course, the minor dissertation then at the end. Graduates of the MA Ceallaigh, for the most part, would stay in the field of education. It's an excellent gateway to a PhD in Gaeilge. If you were thinking of going on to further study, the MA Ceallaigh is an excellent stepping stone on that career path. Most graduates, as I said, would stay in the area of education, particularly of interest to people who want to move into third level education, but also in the area of, you could be working in the area of other areas of education, or translation or Irish language services. It is an attractive degree for anybody who's thinking of a career in those areas. The Stúrthóir of this course is Dr. Brondan O'Croneen, who is the Ceann Rinne here at Rinne Gaeilge, and his email address is there at the bottom of the slide. So if you have any further questions about this particular programme, you can, of course, send an email to Brondan. If we could move to the next slide, please, James. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. So next programme is our MA in History. The MA in History is, again, it's a 1-year full-time programme, or you can complete it over 2 years part-time. Part-time mode would normally mean that you would complete the taught modules first in 1 year, and then the second year will be given over to completion of your dissertation. So the Masters of History is intended to run it entirely online next year, so that's the intention at the moment. And just to note that all the information I'm giving you tonight is correct at this present time, but given the current circumstances, which are in themselves quite uncertain, I just would like to say, please do check, keep an eye on the college website, because as the situation changes, the information I've given you here tonight may also change on foot of that. So the MA in History is it's an opportunity for students who obviously have an interest in history to develop their abilities at postgraduate level. So you would complete a number of taught modules. They offer a research seminar, and of course you complete a research dissertation at the end. Modules would range from the Irish Revolution to writing history, families and communities in Ireland and Britain, and so on. Full details again are available on the website. This MA in History has led to PhD programmes for a number of our graduates. So again, it's an excellent stepping stone if you did want to continue with your postgraduate study and go on to do a PhD. Other career opportunities are in the field of teaching, and as you can see there, documentary, radio research, museum and archive opportunities, and so on. The course leader for the MA in History is Dr. Una Ní Bhrómail, and Una's email address is given there at the bottom of the slide. So if you have any queries about the MA in History, please do feel free to send Una an email. If we could move to the next slide, please, James. So also run in conjunction with the Department of History here in Mary Mackle College, and offered jointly with our colleagues in the Department of History in the University of Limerick, is the MA in Local History. Very popular with people who have an interest in their own local area and their own local history. This programme is offered on a part-time basis over 2 years, and the next intake is not until next year, so that's 2022. But it's no harm to give you the information now if you're thinking about something in this area. An awful lot of people who complete the MA in Local History do it out of sheer interest in that whole area of local history. Others, of course, would go on to do further study in history as well. Again, the assessment modes for the MA in Local History are pretty varied. You would have written assignments such as essays. You may have to complete literature reviews. There'll be research seminars and so on. And there's a dissertation at the end also. Further information on this programme is available from our head of the history department here at Mary Mackay College. That is Dr. Liam Chambers, and Liam's email address is given at the bottom of the slide. If we could move to the next slide, please, James. Okay, so one of our most popular Taught programmes is our MA in Modern English Literature. This MA programme moved entirely online this year, and the intention is that it would continue online next year also. So this MA looks at 20th and 21st century texts in contemporary ways, and students get a chance to engage in research in areas of literature that they themselves are interested in. I have to say that all of our faculty in the Faculty of Arts are widely published and very, very research active, and students get a great opportunity to work very closely with the faculty while completing our postgraduate programmes. So the assessment methods, again, very varied. Of course, it being an English degree, there's going to be essays, and you will again have a minor dissertation to complete at the end of it. Our graduates have gone on to a wide variety of fields, from, again, education is one of them, journalism is another, law, marketing and business, and obviously primary and post-primary teaching also. So this MA programme can be taken on a full-time basis over 1 year or on a part-time basis over 2 years. And further information is available from our head of our English department, and that is Dr. Eugene O'Brien. And Eugene's email again is given there at the bottom of the slide. So if you could move to the next slide, please, James. MA in Media Studies is offered by the Department of Media and Communication Studies. For further information, you would contact the head of that department, Dr. Rosemary Day. The MA in Media Studies is usually taken by practitioners in the area of media, so people who are engaged in some way in the area of media and communication studies, but not always. It can be people who have just completed an undergraduate degree and have an interest in this area and would like to break into the field of media, and others are already engaged in some way in the field of media and communication studies. So on completion of the MA in Media Studies, our graduates have gone on to a variety of careers in all aspects of the media, so including radio, television, sports journalism, newspapers, marketing. You probably have seen our graduates of the MA in Media Studies on your screens almost every night of the week. Micheál Lahan, the political correspondent for RTE, is a graduate. So he's just one. Paddy O'Linard on TJ Ó, another. So because it's media studies, it's easier to give you examples that you're familiar with. So the career prospects from a degree like the MA in Media Studies are quite good. The faculty members in the Department of Media and Communications Studies here in MIC have contacts, of course, throughout the industry, and you will get a chance to work closely with those faculty members. And of course, through them, you will be introduced to all aspects of media in a variety of organisations around the country. Again, the contact details for Rosemary are given there at the bottom of the slide. If you could move to the next slide, please, James. So we offer an MA in Applied Linguistics and a structured PhD in Applied Linguistics. And the course coordinator of both of those programmes is Dr. Joan O'Sullivan. And again, her email is given at the bottom of this slide and the next slide, which is for the structured PhD. So this, both the MA and the structured PhD are designed for people who have an interest or wish to progress their career in the area of linguistics and sociolinguistics. So it is currently being offered fully online, this programme. So it's being offered fully online at the moment, and the intention is that it will also be fully online next year. This programme attracts students from all over the world. We have many international students because of its broad appeal and its broad opportunities afterwards upon graduation. The assessment methods are varied, usually through a variety of continuous assessment methods for the taught modules. And then for the MA in Applied Linguistics, you would finish with a minor dissertation. And if we could move to the next slide, please, James. Yeah, and then for the structured PhD, if one was to continue with the structured PhD in Applied Linguistics, not only would you have the taught modules on the programme, but you would also have the doctoral research seminars, and the independent research parts of the programme too. So depending on whether you take the MA or the structured PhD, the MA can be done on a full-time basis or a part-time basis, and the structured PhD is usually 4 years full-time. And as I said, Dr. Joan O'Sullivan is the coordinator for both programmes. If we could move to the next slide, please, James. Our final structured PhD is our structured PhD in Contemporary Irish Studies. And again, the programme coordinator for this programme is Dr. Eugene O'Brien. And again, his email is given there. So this programme is very diverse. It looks at contemporary issues in Irish society, politics and culture. And it draws from a number of different areas in a number of different disciplines within the faculty. So the modules can vary from things like literature, Irish studies, Irish heritage studies, history, and the political history as well. So it's quite a diverse degree, and there's an element of choice in it as well for students. So you can, from within the modules that are offered, you can choose things that modules in areas that are of interest to you or will help you with your future career plans. So some of the career opportunities on graduation from this programme would include working in the cultural sector, literature or literary fields, advocacy, lobbying, teaching, education, and so on. So again, Dr. Eugene O'Brien's email is given there. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give him an email. If we could move to the next slide, please, James. Yeah, so the next few slides, I'm going to just fly through them. It's literally how to apply. How would you find out about the information on these programs? So as I said, the college website is www.mic.ie. You can go there, and there are a number of different ways. You can access through the find a program. You'll see it's highlighted there on the right hand side in orange. So if you click on the find a program button, it will bring you to a list of all the programs, and you simply select the one that you're interested in, and it will tell you all about it. If we could move to the next slide, James. You can also do it by using the drop down menu there on the left, which is Study at MIC, and you'll see you get a drop down menu there, select postgraduate, and again select the program that you're interested in applying for. And the next slide, please, James. Or else you can go through the faculty pages. You'll see there's a tab at the top called Faculties and Departments. Just select the Faculty of Arts, and again the programs will be listed underneath, and you'll be able to select the one that you are interested in. So if you could go to the next slide, please, James. When you go into the website, this is just an example of one of the pages. So this is for the MA in History. You'll see that there are a number of different tabs there, and it gives things like the programme content, the overview, entry requirements for the programme, and you'll see there's our lovely Dr. Una Brommel giving a small video on what the programme is all about. Contact details also are on the website, and of course you can ask any further questions that you may have. Could you move to the next slide, please, James? Now, for those of you who are interested in doing either a master's degree or a PhD by research and thesis, we'll just try to set out the steps basically that you would take. So first things first, you have to identify the discipline or the subject in which you want to do this research, and then you have to identify a research topic. So think about a question or a problem that you would like to look at or you want to address. Then you would go to our website and you would look at the department in that look at the discipline and see who are the faculty members in that discipline. So for example, I'm interested in a research question in history. I go to the history department and I look at the faculty members in the Department of History in the Faculty of Arts. All of the faculty members give details on our website about their own fields of research interest, so their research expertise. What fields do they conduct research in? And you can try match your research proposal then to the most appropriate supervisor. However, if you don't know who is the most appropriate supervisor for your particular research topic or research question, please contact the head of the department. The head of the department is given also on the website, and the head of the department can direct you to the most appropriate, the most suitable supervisor for you. So on the next slide, please, James. Yeah, so then it comes down to putting together a thesis proposal. So you need to put together a little bit of detail for your supervisor. It's not just enough to give them the title or the question that you want to look at, but you need to put a little bit of work into what's the aim of your research proposal. How do you think you're going to do it? So the methodologies that you're going to use to research the question and to look at the information that's out there already on that question. And then it comes to the application part, and then the application for all research MA and PhD programs in Mary Immaculate College is made through our Research and Graduate School office. So you'll see there, it's the rgso@mic.ul.ie. And you'll see the application package should consist of your thesis proposal, 2 academic letters of reference, transcripts, a CV, and there's a small application fee as well. All information on the application procedure is available on the college website under the Research and Graduate School office. So if you could move to the next slide, please, James. So my last slide, and I'm sure TJ is saying, will she ever finish talking to those people? So I've given you a lot of information this evening, but I'm very conscious that it's literally a very quick snapshot of postgraduate opportunities in the faculty. So if you want further information, you can get them from a variety of sources. As I've said, the program coordinators are the absolute, they're the font of all knowledge when it comes to their programs. So they're your first place. The RGSO, of course, for research programs. We have a couple of different offices as well. Admissions office. We have a Taught Programmes email address. Alison Ryan in the International Office will look after any international students who wish to apply. And of course, the Arts Faculty Office can be reached at artsoffice@mic.ul.ie. And of course, keep an eye on our website and on our social media. We also have a question and answer function on Pubble, which you can reach through our website. So I am going to very quickly hand over now to TJ. I think I've gone over my time. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll be here at the end to answer any questions that you may have. So I'll pass you back now to Pat.
Thanks very much, Rachel. That was a very detailed presentation, a huge amount of detail on the various programs available in the Faculty of Arts. So please remember, if you do have any questions, use the Q&A facility, and I can put them to Rachel and to TJ as well later on in the session. So our next speaker is Dr. TJ Ó Ceallaigh, and he'll be looking at the various programs available in the Faculty of Education. So I'm now going to hand you back over to TJ.
So good evening, everybody. My name is TJ Ó Ceallaigh, and I'm the Director of Taught Postgraduate Studies in Education here at Mary Immaculate College. And there may be a variety of reasons why you choose Mary Immaculate College, and as Rachel has outlined there are many opportunities awaiting you at Mary Immaculate College, but you yourself, you may have a variety of reasons to take up some postgraduate study with us. Maybe you want to look at something in greater detail, something that interests you, or something that you would really like to explore in your practice. Maybe you want to transition to a different route in your career. Maybe you're looking to meet with other like-minded professionals and to delve deeper and inquire around pedagogy and practice in education. And maybe you're looking, for an enjoyable learning experience, or maybe you're looking at the financial aspect of it all, or maybe you want to join us because you're interested in all of the above. Next slide, James, please. And again, you'll have the opportunity with us here at Mary Immaculate College to develop a range of skills that are essential and core to postgraduate study. Skills like self-awareness, Time management obviously is very important when you're working and studying. Personal effectiveness, even working online as we are all doing these days, and patience definitely comes in there also, as I'm sure you can empathize. Communication skills, networking and team working skills and team building, and career management also. So this is just a taster of some of the skills that you may wish to develop during your time with us here at Mary Immaculate College. Thanks, James. So we use a variety of teaching methods and modes across a wide range of disciplines to ensure that the student experience is very, very productive and that student outcomes are very successful. So as you can see there, they range from lectures to peer learning, to group work, to workshops, to visiting scholars, to seminars, to research clinics, to working very, very closely with research mentors or research supervisors. And we also engage students in academic writing and mentoring. But it's very, very important to flag at this stage that an postgraduate research journey at Mary Immaculate College is very much led by you. So it's your responsibility to be independent in your learning also, and for you to shape out that journey as you progress with us throughout the semesters and preferred programme at Mary Immaculate College. As you can see, provision was completely online this year, and as Rachel was saying, uncertainty is uncertain. So we would very much see online provision as a feature of our programme, postgraduate programmes in education for next year. Thanks, James. So this evening I would like to really emphasise particular programmes here, the Thought Postgraduate Programmes in education. So any master's programme, there's a 20,000 word dissertation or thesis, and these are offered on a part-time or full-time basis. Full-time basis is a 1-year programme, part-time basis it's 2 years normally. And I'd also like to talk this evening with you about some other PhD options in education also. So thanks, James. So as you can see from the list, this is quite an extensive list. So I'm going to give a very, very brief overview of all of these programs, but I'm not going to keep you here until midnight. So I'm just going to whet the appetite, and the additional information is available at our website, www.mic.ul.ie, and all of these postgraduate programs are detailed with regards to program overview, the modules that students would engage with, the access or entry requirements, and also it gives you really detailed instructions of how to apply for such postgraduate program. All the contact details are also on the website. Again, that website, www.mic.ul.ie. So now we'll go forward and talk about these programs, and again, which range across diverse disciplines. And we'll start off with the IMED in leadership and well-being in education. We have a range of programs which are very much geared at leadership and management, this being one of the programs. This Masters in Education and Leadership of Wellbeing is a 2-year part-time program, a level 9 program, and it very much focuses on the promotion of well-being in a variety of educational settings and indeed in the wider community. And you would have the opportunity to consider different theoretical presentations of well-being and examine how learners are empowered to take ownership of their well-being and the dimensions involved. A range of assessment methods are used, ranging from observing classroom practice, a range from reflective blogs, range from action research projects, and again giving you plenty of opportunity to plan your own research journey. Thanks, James. And another programme which focuses on leadership and management is the IMED in Educational Leadership and Management. Then this focus on principals who are principals at primary and post-primary, who are very much very much who really understand the dilemmas and the opportunities that leadership and management bring to the professional. So again, this program is a 2-year program. It's flexible, part-time basis. It's a hybrid design, a blended learning design, some on campus and some online. And then with our online delivery, it's a blend of asynchronous, which is non-live, where you can access at any time on any device or anywhere. And then we have some synchronous lectures or sessions or workshops also, which are live just like now. So again, this is very much focused on principals who are in the job or indeed aspiring principals who would really like to upskill and acquire this professional qualification. Thanks, James. Another program which focuses on leadership is that of middle leadership. So middle leadership and mentoring in primary and post-primary settings. This program again focuses on leadership and management, but very much looking at middle leadership in schools and seeing how this is enacted and developed. So it's a 1-year part-time blended learning program, and it's an academic qualification in professional studies. Sorry, this is it's endorsed by the Centre for School Leadership, and it's a hybrid program and offered and located in MIC Thurles. Again, it's a 2-year, year 2 offers opportunities to progress from a diploma qualification and subsequently to that at master's level. So again, this has been endorsed by the Centre of School Leadership and Education. And our next program, which focuses on leadership, an iméid sanna dachas lán Gaeilge agus Gaeltachta, agus an chlár seo dírithe go thomláin na sanríochtanas a bhín ag múntóirí is scoilna lán Gaeilge sa Gaeltacht agus taobh mud an Gaeltacht, agus á béim le bhanistíocht agus an ganracht freisin. Tá an chlár seo muoinethe go thomláin ag an roinne dachas agus ólaíochta. And the next program, again, all of these programs focus on management and leadership, but now we come to the generic IMAID program. We are, for next September, this will be a modular IMAID program, so there will be a lot of choice, student choice here, from an array of modules, so you'll be able to build your own IMAID program. It's designed for all those who are wishing to enhance their professional knowledge and understanding and skill. It can be completed full-time or part-time. Full-time is a 1-year program, part-time is a 2-year program. There at the end, in year 2, there's a 20,000 word dissertation, and it was available fully online this year. And taking everything into account, there is every possibility that it will be available fully online also next year. We also cater for our international students, and we especially welcome them, seeing as our provision is completely online. And our next IMAID program is the IMAID in Special Education and the Graduate Diploma. So again, the Graduate Diploma is a 1-year program. It's again looking at providing substantial theoretical and practical continuing professional development for teachers working with students with special educational needs in a diverse range of educational contexts. Again, there are specific inputs in assessment, in language and literacy and mathematics and social, emotional and behavioural content areas, as well as incorporating ICT at all levels to support instruction and learning. And they're dependent on grades achieved after completing the graduate diploma. You can apply to continue your studies with us and qualify with an IMAID in Special Education after 2 years. And the next IMAID program focuses on ICT, information and communication technologies in primary teaching. Again, this is a graduate diploma, but a 1-year graduate diploma, giving you the opportunity to continue on and complete a master's in 2 years. It's designed again for practicing primary teachers, looking at all aspects of ICT integration in schools, and especially looking at blended learning and online learning and hybrid learning in particular. And it enables participants to identify and evaluate how ICT can be best utilised in schools to support and enhance learning and teaching, and to enrich that learning environment of the classroom and indeed the school. And our next IMED programme coming up is that the MA in STEM education. This is a 2-year programme. Again, STEM is science, technology, engineering and mathematics. This is a 2-year part-time programme offering a focus on innovative approaches to STEM. And it explores socially responsive teaching and research informed by national and international developments in school and educational settings, with a particular focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics. The next intake cohort will join us in September 2021, this September. And again, it's very much focused on, the cohort is very much focusing on the teachers and educators who want to develop their skills as they critique and explore and investigate and indeed disseminate new approaches to STEM education and become STEM leaders in their schools or workplaces. Again, the next intake will be September 2021, this September. And our next programme is the IMED in Religious Education. This explores a 2-year part-time IMED, and it explores foundations and pedagogies and critical perspectives around contemporary issues and research in the field of religious education. It enables you to reflect critically and creatively on the application of these insights to a variety of educational settings. And again, this is a 2-year programme, a blended learning in nature, and there is a very strong possibility that it will also be blended learning or online provision for the next academic year. And our next programme focuses on music, our MA in Music Education. This programme will take, the next cohort is coming to us in September of this year. It's a blended learning programme, and it's really geared for anybody with an interest in music education, be it teachers or indeed policymakers or community or the inspectorate or people working in curriculum development, or indeed school leaders. So it's a mix of online and on-campus teaching, and it's a 1-year full-time and a 2-year part-time basis. And again, a hybrid design online and on campus. And our next programme is the MA in Education and the Arts, or META. And this is very much geared towards artists, but indeed teachers or anybody in that industry working with music or visual arts or drama or dance or literature or film education. Again, it's a 2-year programme with a significant piece of work at the end, a dissertation in year 2. And again, it's very much a hybrid programme, looking at all elements of arts education, be it from music, visual arts, drama, dance, literature and film education. And now we come to our graduate diploma in adult and further education in Mary Immaculate College. This is a full-time basis over 2 semesters, or part-time over 3 semesters. And it's recognised by the Teaching Council as a professional teaching qualification for the further education sector. Again, this is hybrid in nature and will be for the coming academic year. Our graduate certificate or diploma in autism studies is designed to provide students with in-depth understanding of autism and explores overlapping areas from experiential, educational, supportive and behavioural perspectives. It's taught in 5 modules over 1 academic year and using a combination again of face-to-face and online teaching methods. Again, a 1-year programme with a hybrid design. And our next programme is geared at people, professionals who work in higher education or who aspire to work in higher education. That is the Graduate Certificate in Academic Practice. It is designed for all those who work in education, in higher education, both new to the sector, those who with more experience, or those in leadership roles, and those in professional services roles, which include teaching and supporting student learning. Participants will be encouraged to identify enhancement themes that are relevant to their own teaching and learning context and engage in self-directed professional learning journey. Again, this is completely online, and for the next academic year, it is a strong possibility that this will be a hybrid design, delivered by hybrid design, or indeed completely online. Agus an céad ceann eile an tastas ar chéime I d'agos ábhar bhunaithe san iarmhain scoileach lán Gaeilge agus Gaeltachta, tá an chlár seo dírithe go sunrach na riachtanis a bhín ag múntóirí ábhar is scoileanna sa Gaeltacht agus taobh an Gaeltacht an iarmhain le bhéal. Agus tá sé seo muoinethe ag an gcomharla Dachas Gaeltachta agus Gael Scoileachta agus cumála sin ag bord Dachas agus a lúna éireann. And now to come on to our structured PhD, our IMEd in Literacy Education. Again, the IMEd in Literacy Education is a 2-year master programme, and the PhD is a 4-year doctoral programme. So it promotes the development of research, of critical thinking and communication skills within the sector, and the evolving nature of literacy in the 21st century. And it's delivered through blended learning approaches, Again, an IMEd, a 2-year IMEd, or indeed a 4-year structured PhD programme. And our next programme is the Professional Doctorate in Educational and Child Psychology. This is a 3-year full-time professional training course for candidates interested in pursuing a career as an educational psychologist. It's aimed to equip candidates with the necessary competencies and skills to work in a range of autonomous and collaborative professional roles that are performed by educational psychologists in a variety of contexts with a variety of client groups. Again, this is a 3-year full-time professional training course. And our MA or PhD in Education by Research, just as Rachel reported earlier, this is an opportunity for you to identify a research area that you would like to pursue or explore, and then do some research about the departments in our School of Education and see if you can identify a supervisor who could align with your preferred research proposal. So again, the procedure or the application process is identical to that as Rachel outlined earlier. First of all, coming up with your research idea, then identifying a potential supervisor in a potential department, then completing a research proposal, looking at your motivation, your research question, your methodology, the research impact of your particular PhD proposal, and then submission. So and then you work with your research supervisor for the duration of your PhD by research, which is normally a 4-year journey. So at this stage, I've come to I just have to conclude. So I understand that you have many questions. I hope you were taking some notes as that whistlewind tour was happening. I will be really looking forward to engaging with you and your questions right now. But again, to reiterate, www.mic.ul.ie. You will find all the relevant information with regards to course outlines, program outlines, modules, how to engage with the modules, the types of assessment, the entry requirements, and indeed how to apply and who to contact with particular programs at www.mic.ul.ie.
Thanks very much, TJ. A lot of detail there, some great courses available in the Faculty of Education. So we do have some questions now that I'm going to put to our speakers, and if you do have a question, please use the Q&A facility. So we might just start with Rachel, give TJ a minute or two to recover. Rachel, first question in here, I suppose kind of a bit of general advice really. This person wants to know, is it wise to apply for 2 courses in the hope of being accepted? For example, they mentioned the Masters Ó Ceallaigh in the Faculty of Arts.
Okay, so yeah, it's a question that we're asked actually fairly regularly, in that people who may have an interest in 2 areas, or if there's 2 similar programs, maybe one in the Faculty of Education, one in the Faculty of Arts, maybe in this case in the area of Gaeilge. I suppose there's nothing to stop you applying for 2 programs, if you like. I suppose if you want to hedge your bets, I suppose there's nothing to stop you applying for 2 programs. If it was me, I think my advice would be that I would investigate both programs fully. I'd make contact with the course coordinator, and I'd try and identify which program was most suited to what I wanted to achieve, or my own personal interests or reasons for doing a master's program, because it may be that both of them on the surface appear equally, useful for what I want, but when you delve down into it, it may be that if it may be that the MA Ó Ceallaigh is the one that's the most suited to me, or it may be that the MEd in the Faculty of Education is actually the one that I should be going for. So there's no barrier to applying for more than 1 master's program, but I think I personally would I would try and do my homework beforehand, before I made the application, because I think it's better that you identify the one that suits your needs best. So only you can answer that, only you know why you want to do, or what you want to achieve afterwards. And the best people as well to help you with that are the course coordinators, because they can tell you about where the program can lead you to, and you can see then if it matches your needs.
Thanks very much, Rachel. Some great advice there. There's another question, Rachel, I might put it to you as well. It's kind of a general question really, but this person wants to know, can you exit a master's program after a year with a postgraduate diploma?
Some of the master's programs you can, but not all. So, for example, the MA in Media Studies has a graduate diploma exit route, so you can. But at the moment, say the MA in History does not. So you need to make sure that the program that you're interested in has a graduate diploma, if that's what you're interested in. So some do, but some don't. So again, if you're in any doubt at all, make sure you ask. You can either email the faculty office here, or again, the course coordinator is the very best person to ask.
Thanks, Rachel. Yes, that's very good advice. We might go to TJ now for the next couple of questions. So TJ, we have a question here. This person wants to know, can you complete the MEd in special education without having the grad diploma completed?
Yes, that question. That's a very good question, actually. No, it's the preferred option is to do the graduate diploma in special education. But however, if you would like to do an MEd, you can also come into the MEd, the generic MEd program, and put a particular focus on special education throughout your journey. That is by choosing very carefully and creatively from a suite of modules. And again, I was talking about the modular MEd earlier. You will have that opportunity to build your own MEd. So you could do an MEd with a particular focus in special educational needs. But however, it's a prerequisite to get the MEd in SEN by doing the diploma in SEN first of all.
Thanks, TJ, and we kind of have a follow-on question as well from that. Next question is, can students get scholarships at MIC for MEd? And I suppose that's probably can refer to all our programs generally.
Absolutely. There are a range of scholarships available. Again, all that information is on the website www.mic.ul.ie. The closing date for applications for particular scholarships is coming up at the start of next month. So I would really encourage anybody to look at all the available information regarding those scholarships on our website at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. We have a further MEd question, TJ, and this one is, can you complete a dissertation on a special education topic in year 2 of the part-time program?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, it's up to the particular students to choose a research topic that they are really invested in and that they want to find out more about, or that really speaks to them, so to speak. So it's your journey as a postgraduate master's student to identify an area of research that you would really like to develop. So absolutely, if somebody is interested in special educational needs, for example, that option is available to them to pursue that with their dissertation.
Thanks, TJ. And this question then, it doesn't specify which course, but is a structured PhD suited to working teachers? So presumably that's someone maybe from a primary or a post-primary teaching background. Yep.
All of our programs, including our PhD programs, they're very much geared to the working professionals' needs. The provision online is very helpful these days. All our synchronous sessions are recorded also, so they are used even if you cannot make them. You know, they are very helpful. Then you can go back and review, or even reflect. Even if you have been there, you can reflect on what happened in class. So all our synchronous sessions are recorded, which makes it that all asynchronous material available. So that makes life much easier for people to engage with the research journey also. But to go back to the original question about the challenges of doing a PhD and working full time, it is possible, and the majority of our students are full-time workers in particular educational contexts, and they also do they also engage with their PhD in a very successful way. So it is possible and it is achievable.
Thanks very much, TJ. So we have a couple of questions now for Rachel. They're on the Faculty of Arts programs. So I suppose just a general question, Rachel, does having a postgraduate qualification improve your job prospects from some of those courses that you covered?
Okay, good question. Yes, absolutely. I would have to say that. I think in today's world, most people, you'll even see it in the numbers that are applying to colleges every year. Most people will have an undergraduate degree at this stage. Gone are the days when you left school and you went straight out into the professional world. So to have an edge in the job market, having a master's or having a higher than that, a PhD qualification will of course set you apart from others. Now, of course, it depends on the field that you want to go into, the career that you're pursuing. It may be that a master's, is something that you acquire after having spent a number of years working in the field. I'm thinking in the lines of an MA in Media Studies. Quite often the people who come to do it are already practitioners in that field, but in order to get further in their career, they found that they need something else. So they've come back to MIC to do the masters in media studies. And it ties in also what TJ was saying earlier, that you could be in a school already, you could be working away quite happily in an education setting, but to get further in your career, if that's what you want, you find that you need something more, you need to offer more or have that extra, a little bit extra. And that's where having a master's can absolutely help. And in certain fields, yes, of course, a master's is something that they would look at straight away.
Yeah, that's very good answer there. Thanks, Rachel. A further one then in relation to the Faculty of Arts programs. I suppose this is probably maybe from someone who is coming from obviously an undergraduate background, but in terms of teaching and coursework, how does a postgraduate program differ from an undergraduate degree? So you might just tell us a little bit, or give a little bit of advice about that, Rachel.
Okay, yeah, that's actually a very good question. I suppose, to put it quite simply, I suppose our undergraduate students, of course, are adults, but our master's students are, if you like, even more adults. If I could put it in a very a simple way, when you're a postgraduate student, they're usually small. You're in a smaller group, first of all, so you're working much more closely with the faculty, with the people who are teaching you. So there's also an element in postgraduate programs that you wouldn't have in an undergraduate, where you may have an element of a choice, for want of a better word, or maybe not so much in the material that you're covering, but in the areas that you want to focus on. So it might be that in a master's program like the MA in Modern English Literature, it may be that you have a particular interest in a particular style or genre of literature, or a particular author or something like that, and you would like to focus on that. As a postgraduate student, you get more opportunities to do things like that. Also, as postgraduates, and particularly when you're doing research, or we'll say research PhD students, when you are working as a postgraduate student in that area, of course, you're trying to hone your research skills. So you'll be writing your own research pieces, you'll be writing your own research papers, which it will in turn, we hope, lead on to publication and of those research that you've conducted. That wouldn't happen, of course, at undergraduate level. So if you like, it's like a development of, it's a continuation of that basic level that foundational level that you've had at undergraduate level. The postgraduate level allows you the opportunity to develop that and hone it, develop it in a way that is suited to your interests, if you know what I mean. So you can you sharpen your own research skills in the area that are of interest to you. As well as that, because it's smaller cohorts and you're working so closely with faculty members, you have a slightly different relationship with faculty when you're a postgraduate student, in that it's almost, you know what I mean, you're working together with them. It's not so much like a teacher and a student type of relationship in lots of ways, in that you're working with them on in a lot of different ways. So there's an element of collaboration as well, if I hope I've explained that correctly.
Yeah, I think you have, Rachel. Thanks very much. Time is almost up, so we have a couple of questions, maybe just for TJ before we finish. So this one's kind of a general one, TJ. This person wants to know, does the length of the dissertation depend on which taught master's program you're doing, or is it the same amount of words in general?
No, that's a very interesting question, and students are always very interested in líon na bhocail, or the word count, for any type of assignment or assessment. That's almost the first question any student asks. So you're very much on the ball to ask that question. It's 20,000 words across all dissertations in the programs that are on offer in the Faculty of Education.
Thanks very much, TJ. Our next question then, this person wants to know, would teachers qualify for grant aid from SUSI?
Well, that's a very difficult question. It very much depends on your own circumstances and your own personal situation. And you know, I don't know if I can give any answer that would be actually supportive or help you with your thinking around that. But it's something that everybody has to explore given their own context and circumstance. But it's definitely worth exploring, perhaps.
Yeah, thanks, TJ. That's good advice there. Final question then. This might be someone who's thinking of getting into lecturing, maybe. This person wants to know, what areas in education is it difficult to find suitable lecturers in? So I presume they're thinking in terms of job vacancies, maybe in different areas in education.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. You know, there are a vast array of vacancies that you can see all the time in higher education, and especially with online learning and hybrid models of programs and that, there are a variety of jobs out there, on offer at the moment. So it's not that I can advocate one over the other. I suppose you really have to look deep inside your own soul and say, look, where's my interest here? What do I want to research? And if I am looking at a career in higher education, I want to be interested in what I'm doing. I want to be energized and excited about what I'm doing. So I suppose it's not much like what subject areas or disciplines are out there, but it's like, how can I contribute to those particular disciplines? So it's very much making your own decision of the area of research that really best suits your needs and your aspirations.
Thanks very much, TJ. So I'm afraid that brings our session to a close. I'd just like to thank TJ and Rachel, our two speakers this evening, who've given a huge amount of detail about the different programs available in the Faculty of Arts and in the Faculty of Education here at Mary Immaculate College. The final session in our postgraduate virtual talk series will be next Wednesday again at 5 p.m. And that's the 3rd of March, and it'll focus on fees, application procedures, scholarships and other funding sources here at MIC. So thanks again to everyone for tuning in this evening, and I'll just wish you all a nice evening, and hopefully we'll see you again next Wednesday.